Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are here on beautiful Washington Street in Hoboken at the Margot Markets, located at 1102 Washington Street. And we're here today as part of our small business features. We've done a lot of restaurants. Last week we had that awesome competition between Daria and Krista over at the Shepherd and Knucklehead. You are going to want to tune into that if you missed it. And today we are here at this local boutique. We're going to find out what they sell here. We're going to find out from Maggie, the owner, some other endeavors that she's doing. You know, why don't we just go inside and talk to Maggie? Now inside the Margot Market, and we're here with owner Maggie Emma. Maggie, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Welcome.
Thank you. And Maggie, this store, I mean, when I walked in, I didn't really know what to expect. Mm-hmm. I was like, does she sell women's clothing? Is it candles? I see these awesome men's shoes in the window that I might have to partake in buying. So talk to me. What type of boutique do you have here?
So we are a lifestyle store, and our biggest mission and overarching mission is providing ethically made goods. So we really wanted to provide that through every facet of your life with clothing, housewares, accessories for women. So we really wanted to be able to have a one-stop shop for ethically made goods where you could come in, buy gifts, things for your closet, and things for your home.
Now repeat that. Ethically made goods, you said?
Yes.
So
ethically made.
Can you expand on that?
Of course.
Yeah.
So with our research and vetting who we bring into the store, we look at 100% transparency in production. So that means fair working conditions, fair trade if it's made overseas. And then we also look at things as far as low impact dyes. How is it affecting our environment? Where is runoff? Where is waste going? So we really look to promote conscious consumerism.
So sustainability.
Yep,
I mean,
sustainability.
What better, folks? 1102
right.
Washington Street. Get over here. I mean, taking care of the environment one day at a time, and then also, having a great product.
Yeah, that's right.
So, Maggie, now obviously the pandemic has brought a lot of hardships to many different businesses. Right. And us at the Pulse, we've tried to cover food businesses just to see how they're doing, but retail businesses, I'm sure it's just been crushing. How have you guys been doing the past few months?
You know, it has been. We rely heavily on our foot traffic being a brick and mortar store. And part of, the conception of opening the store, I really wanted to have a brick and mortar spot to be able to be a spot in the community and be a light in the community. So that was really crushing to have to close our doors for 4 months. But I would say a blessing in disguise. It really allowed us to kind of hone in on our online presence and allow us to grow outside of this community.
And that's fantastic. And I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said online business, because when most people think retail, most people immediately assume that it's online.
Right.
But I'm a guy, man. I'm not buying those sneakers on the internet. I'm going to the mall. I'm going to...
You want to try them on.
I want to try them on, and so on and so forth. Do you feel like the clientele in Hoboken, especially now that still like 80% of the population is working from home, is more susceptible to coming in, trying things on, and so on?
It's still very slow, and that's, I completely understand. There's still precautions to be had, but we're starting to see some foot traffic come back in. And I think that that time being closed allowed us to really cater and offer an online customer service. So a little bit more than just looking at a photo, how things are going to fit. We did some online styling. We were able to offer further information online to help service and just be flexible and more accessible to the community.
Excellent. Really is. Now I have to ask you, your last name is Emma.
Yes.
The Margot Market. I literally walked in here, and of course Maggie I've known because of course we're neighbors. Well, my parents are neighbors of yours. And I'm like, oh, your last name is not Margot? So where did the name come from?
Yes, so Margot was actually a nickname for me from my husband, yes. And so it kind of evolved into the name of the shop, and we also learned that Margot means to give back. And so a lot of our designers give back to different organizations and local causes, and we also give back to the local community, so it felt like a fitting name.
It really did. And now how long have you been in Hoboken? At this
We've
brick and mortar store, I should say.
the store will be 2 years in September.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Just
thank
next month.
you. That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
2
great.
years is huge in
Yeah.
Hoboken because there is, unfortunately, this huge turnover
Mm-hmm.
of retail. And people, in like 6 months I've seen to a year.
Right.
So, the Margot Market going
Yes,
strong into its
that's
second year
right.
during a pandemic as well. So, now, one of the things you just mentioned was your designers. So, do you only get products from certain local designers, or anybody that's sustainable with your mission?
Yes, exactly. So anybody that's sustainable, anybody that has the same ethically made and ethically sourced mindset is all that we bring into our curated collection.
Oh, that's very, very
Yep.
interesting. And if there's somebody who is watching this, plenty of people watch. We love this. And is looking for something like specific, whether maybe that might be, a pair of jeans or something like that, or a pair of shoes, like I said, like those wonderful kicks in the mirror, and the window, excuse me, I should say, not the mirror. You would recommend them to come in, correct, and see
Yes,
what you have.
definitely.
Absolutely. So get over here, right?
That's right.
Now, one of the things that I was spoiled to find out was that Maggie, actually, or Margot, can I call you by your
Sure.
nickname? Exactly. Is not only has an absolutely phenomenal store with many different, contemporary styles and so on and so forth, but she's also an interior designer. And for most of the folks at home, they know that I just moved, and she kind of helped me in my apartment.
Yes.
Talk to me about phenomenal. I mean, trust me, a guy like me, I would have been living, God knows, with what type of furniture and so on and so forth. Talk to me a little bit about, your side gig, your interior designer gig.
So, kind of as part of the conception of the store as well, we wanted you to walk in and feel like you were in your home, or you could visualize maybe the design aesthetic in your home. So part of my background by trade is graphic design, studio art, and I also worked for an interior design firm. So there's a little bit of all that pulled into the shop and kind of my additional interest and passion. So we do work with other designers here in town to help give different programs for them to source our products into their designs, but kind of stemming off of that lifestyle, we want to be able to incorporate our designs into their home.
Yeah, well, and look, they also work with deli owner sons who can't
That's
put
right.
together an apartment and
No,
come
it's
running in
beautiful.
down the block. And I'm like, Maggie, what do I do here? You need to find me this, and things like that. She's fantastic. Now, where could people, I guess, find more information? Let's first start with
Yes.
the Margot Market. I'm sure
Yes.
you're on Instagram, social
Right.
medias, your hours,
Yes,
your days
yes.
that you're open, and then I guess a little bit more on your interior design expertise, as I like to
Yes,
call it.
I would say
So-
our website, themargotmarket.com, and also Instagram is we use as a heavy platform to promote a lot of our news and new arrivals and a lot that we're doing. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then what days are you open during the week?
Tuesday through Sunday.
Tuesday through Sunday. And your hours?
Right now it is 11 to 6.
11 to 6. Guys, you guys are working from home. You might as well come over here, come see Maggie and her wonderful husband.
Yeah.
It's only the two of you that work here.
Yeah,
correct?
and the baby sometimes.
Oh, the baby. 1 year old?
1 year.
Oh
That's
my God.
right.
He is you just want to come in just to see that. And Maggie, I'm going to kind of give you the floor over here. Is there anything that you want to tell the viewers at home? Most of our viewers do live in the city of Hoboken. Regarding small business and regarding, shopping local and possibly what they can find by coming in here.
Of
So the floor is
course.
yours. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first we have to start with saying thank you. I think that our biggest success through the pandemic has been attributed to the community, and there's been a heavy movement within Hoboken and Jersey City to support local, shop small. So we really appreciate the community for backing us and sticking with us for 4 months until our doors were back open. And I think that we really try not only to find ethically made pieces, but also that are very fashion forward and help you find your own style and fashion through your own self-expression and help you find your unique style.
Help you find your unique style. And trust me, Maggie can make that happen for you. Well, Maggie, thanks you so much
Yes.
for inviting us in your beautiful
Thank
store
you. Well-
here. Best of luck in the future.
Thank you.
And we'll talk a little bit more about my apartment when we're off camera.
Perfect.
All right, folks. We will be right back. You're not going to want to miss it.
Thinking about a family vacation or class reunion? Are you stressed over whether or not you should take a vacation? M-Share Family Fun Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in family and group travel, dedicated to ensure you're provided with the right options to meet your travel needs. I'm Dottie Smith, and I've been servicing clients in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Florida, and California. So I'm here to help you make your travel experience a memorable one. M-Share Family Fun Travel. Cherish today for tomorrow's memories.
Welcome back to the show. Your host, Peter Biancamano here, and we're joined with Josh Sotomayor Einstein. Josh, what's going on today, my man?
It's good to be here.
Well, it's good to have you. It really is. And he's, of course, all buttoned up tonight. Do you have a special date after this or something like that?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No, I just dress better than you.
Yeah, I guess sometimes he does. But if we compare wardrobes at home, mine will be way more expensive. Anyway, moving on.
Because he doesn't know how to shop on sale.
So
I've been shopping with him before.
Come on, now you're revealing our secrets on air here. Anyway, Josh, so we have had many guest hosts sitting in this chair, but I needed to be part of this segment because today we want to talk about the Hoboken Business Alliance. And we did speak about this a few months ago, I believe now, regarding the SID tax that the Alliance imposed. I was just wondering if you could remind viewers of what that SID tax entailed.
Well, so remember that the SID is a special improvement district. In most places where they do a SID, it covers a particular area of the town. In Hoboken, it's all of the town. And on buildings that are considered businesses, they have an additional levy on their tax bill that goes to the SID and that the HBA, the Hoboken Business Alliance, then doles out on those very pointless flowers that we see on some of the light poles. And on, I suppose, other things. I mean, supposedly marketing Hoboken. I think Hoboken's marketed already because everybody wants to move here.
I think you hit the nail on the head when you said supposedly. So the tax is a few $100s per quarter. I mean, I know one business pays $300 per quarter, and most businesses feel like the Hoboken Business Alliance has been more of a detriment than an actual help to business.
Well, before we move on to what I'm pretty sure you want to talk about, the slow streets.
I do. I was going to get to that in a second.
Just going into the tax just for 1 second, I know we talked about it months ago as well, but it's really a regressive tax if you think about it, because the big buildings, they can afford it. You know, the big management companies, they can afford it easy peasy. It's nickels and dimes to them. But to the Hoboken born and raised, or even the transplant that came here 30, 40 years ago and bought their building and rents out, 3 or 4 of the units, that really eats in, every little bit eats into their income, and that's not fair.
And 100% correct. So now let's talk about what they're supposed to do. They do have those wonderful cleaners, and they are wonderful people. I've spoken.
That's the only part that I like.
Exactly,
about
that's
it.
the only part that I agree with. They're cleaning the streets. They're wearing the shirts. That's terrific. You talked about the crappy flowers on the poles, because that's exactly what they are. Hoboken Business Alliance. They're crappy. So, and they're probably once every block. You're charging businesses for stupid flowers that are going to die in about a month or so. Correct? Am I right or wrong?
I don't think I have to be on this episode.
But that's exactly what they are. So I'm just trying to figure out, what else do they do while charging these businesses who are already struggling because of COVID-19?
Well, whether it's the SID and the HBA, our city quote-unquote leaders in City Hall, or Governor Murphy, there seems to be this philosophy of times are tough. COVID is destroying businesses. We have to shut down. Let's reach further into everyone's pockets. And it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
No sense. Now, you spoke about slow streets before. So for the people at home, just to understand what slow streets are, they do close certain streets. I thought it was because of social distancing purposes, but Josh and I have walked the slow streets, and there's nobody in the streets. I mean, it's just a cause for more traffic, and it's actually a detriment to business, Josh, because let me know if you agree with this or not. On a night like tonight where it's cloudy out, most people stay home and they call delivery.
Well, because it might rain.
Because it might rain, correct. Hopefully not on us right now. Exactly. Keep your fingers crossed. So now what you're doing is you're closing blocks where delivery drivers have to go in and out of to make the deliveries to those people. Does that make any sense to you?
Well, listen, I live on the avenue on Washington Street, so I enjoy, and my window faces the avenue, so I enjoy having a little bit quieter atmosphere to live in without cars constantly coming down. So I understand why some people would want it. However, the things that I enjoy should not be forced upon everybody else. And I knew that Washington Street was a busy street when I moved there. So I shouldn't just be able to get my way, which is something that, again, people in government don't seem to understand. They say, I want, and then they charge it to the taxpayer. And it doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. It doesn't matter if they would do so in their personal life. They act like essentially small, not monsters, but small, strange creatures when they're actually in positions of
So in
government.
essence, the slow streets are, they close streets, I should say, to allow pedestrians who are not on there to go on there, and to have restaurants, I guess, use the streets for eateries. But I haven't seen one restaurant do that because they're nervous that they might get fined for doing that, right or wrong.
Well, I mean, the whole rationale doesn't make sense with a lot of the restrictions or new things that have happened under COVID. First, they're like, stay inside. Then they're like, stay inside. Then they're like, no, it transmits more inside, go outside. Then they're like, stay inside. Then they're like, we're going to give you more outside space after they had closed the parks for no reason. It's really, they're just throwing, excuse my French, but crap against the wall to see what
I
sticks.
said it before.
They're not guided by science, whether it's in Trenton or our own city hall. They assert that science, they say the word science. I don't think they actually know what it means. But when you're just looking at urban issues, divorced from COVID, you can't shut down a town's only two-way street, the main
Amen,
artery, for 6 hours, on any given day.
3 times a week during the busiest nights for local businesses, pizzerias who have 5 or 6 delivery drivers who can't make deliveries anymore because of this. It absolutely makes sense. Hoboken Business Alliance, I am challenging you to let me know one positive thing you've done well. I really am, except for take money out of hardworking businesses' pockets. So if you guys want to come on, you have an open forum here. Now, let's continue on with something else that doesn't make sense.
After that, they may actually want to come on with me rather than
I
with
was
you.
going to say, that'll be a first, too.
It would. Everybody else is too afraid.
Anyway.
You know who I'm talking about.
Anyway, so I did want to touch upon this ordinance while we have a few minutes left. Mask wearing in Hoboken, or the lack of mask wearing in Hoboken, might be fined $250 if you are outside. But of course, there's all these rules where if you're eating, working out, or I forgot the other one, that it won't imply.
Yeah. So there's
Is this unenforceable?
So it's fairly unenforceable, and it raises some issues. But most importantly, whether we like it or hate it, there's already an executive order that carries the force of law and has both financial and legal penalty for its violation from a gubernatorial executive order from Governor Murphy. So once again, the Bala administration, Mayor Bala, his lackeys like Phil Cohen, who went in front of the media and said how great this idea is, they're just virtue signaling. Because if you don't go out with a mask under the state law, the state executive order, you could be fined $1,000. So now Hoboken wants to add $250 in an ordinance, a fine coming from the municipality, and wants to empower not just police officers who love the police. You guys have too many laws that you have to enforce. We need less laws, and I will respect the police, but also the zoning officer, I believe, as well as code enforcement. So we're talking about meter maids who they're not going to want to do this. They're not going to do this. It's an unenforceable law, and it's just the usual virtue signaling BS that we see, that we saw, 2 episodes ago from Jason Freeman, who's de facto still a spokesperson for the administration, even though he was given a quote-unquote non-political title. We all know this is BS, illegal fiction. But just as we saw there, where he's not answering questions and just engaging in virtue signaling, or we see with Phil Cohen or the mayor, that's what this is.
Well, I tell you. So, Josh, a hypothetical for you really quickly. 10-second answer here, please. Somebody comes up to you. I know. Somebody comes up to you, and let's say this law passes. Somebody comes up to you and says, sir, you're not wearing your mask. I have to give you a summons. What are you telling that person?
So if they're a police officer, I'll take it, because they have a bad enough job with people like the mayor, Mayor Bala, who went to the BLM protest pretending that there's some institutionalized systemic hunt of black people, so I'll respect the police. But if it's anybody else, I'm going to laugh at you and walk away. And mind you, I wear my mask most of the time, but you're going to try to use government to tell me what to do? Bye-bye.
All right, Josh Sotomayor Einstein. Never want to shy away from anything he says, and I think I was pretty frank today as well.
You were pretty loud.
I was going to say.
You were loud and proud.
All right, folks, when we come back, thank you for that. Matt Waymeyer will be joining us for our sports segment. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be back.
Thinking about a family vacation or class reunion? Are you stressed over whether or not you should take a vacation? M-Share Family Fun Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in family and group travel, dedicated to ensure you're provided with the right options to meet your travel needs. I'm Dottie Smith, and I've been servicing clients in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Florida, and California. So I'm here to help you make your travel experience a memorable one. M-Share Family Fun Travel. Cherish today for tomorrow's memories.
Welcome back to The Pulse. And as promised, we're here with our sports genius.
Oh, boy.
And that is Mr. Matt Waymeyer. Matt, good to see you again, buddy.
You keep building me up like this. Eventually, one of these weeks, I'm going to fall short. Hopefully not this week, but I do appreciate the tire pumping.
You know what it is? You come on here, we talk about sports. I mean, we're like in the black with sports for all these months,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
So, like, it's great to just turn on the TV
We
and
had all
watch a
this
game.
build-up and never getting it out of our system. It feels good.
Exactly. So you were on a few weeks ago. We
Yes.
spoke about a couple of different things, but we'll start with the local baseball teams
Sure.
because the season is now underway. We're already a third of the season
Isn't
through.
that crazy?
It's 20 games, but it's a
Jeez.
third of the season
Yeah.
through. It's just amazing. It really, really is. So now, you did say that the Yankees were going to be very, very good. So you did get that one right, Matt.
All right.
Has there been any surprises with the Yankees so far?
Well, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but the health issues. I mean, we've seen, as we sit here now, Aaron Judge is banged up again. He's been hitting home runs left and right at epic proportions, but whether he tweaked his ribs on a swing or running the bases, we're not quite sure. But he was pinch hit for after hitting a home run the other night, and Aaron Boone said he doesn't know his timetable for a return. Giancarlo Stanton's been a little bit banged up. They've had some inconsistency in their rotation, so it's one of those things where it's not going to really hamper them in the regular season, but if these things don't get resolved, if the health doesn't improve, it could be a real problem in the postseason. That's kind of where they're at right now.
Okay, interesting. Now, but they're still very good.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
And of course, they did take those few games off because they had to with the whole
Right.
coronavirus.
Right.
Which, Matt, were you nervous there that they were going to cancel the season?
No, only because they're so hell-bent on making their TV money that it would take a meteor hitting Earth for them to cancel baseball, and even then they'd hesitate. So they're not going to let some little virus, affect their plans to get their TV money. The Cardinals, on the other hand, specifically, they might be the ones that have their season shunted. But the league, I think they're gonna get through this.
All right. Well, that's good to know. And I love the way that they're doing these 7-inning game doubleheaders. I mean,
They should have done this a long time ago.
I agree.
Yeah.
I do think the games are being a little long. But
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, 14 innings as opposed to 18, it makes a big difference.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Now, Matt, so I feel like the Yankees are boring because, yeah, they're good. Okay, we knew that. Why don't we talk about those New York Mets?
They're never boring.
They're never boring. Never boring. Of course, Marcus Stroman announced this week that he's opted out.
Right.
Noah Syndergaard was already on the shelf. Yoenis Cespedes opted out 4 games into the season or whatever the heck it was. I forgot what it was. It was very, very minimal games. Nothing surprises you about the Mets either, huh?
No. And again, as we sit here now, Jeff McNeil during a day game crashed into the wall, making an unbelievable catch.
That's right.
X-rays came back negative, but he's banged up, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. They've Adman Rosario had a stomach bug, but Andres Jimenez has been fantastic filling in. That might be a controversy there. Who gets the nod at shortstop? Luis Rojas says it's going to be Rosario. He's the incumbent. But when you got a guy playing as well as Jimenez,
How do you do that?
You got to go with
gotta
the high hand,
hand.
don't you?
Exactly.
It's a tough call.
So now, do you want to take any of your predictions back that you've made regarding the Yankees and the Mets earlier this season? You did say the Mets were going to finish, I believe, a few games over 500.
Games over 500.
And you said the Yankees were going to finish first.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with those. I mean,
Okay.
the Rays are currently just beating the crap out of my Red Sox, which is not a huge accomplishment this year. My Red Sox are terrible, but the Rays look good. I still think the Yankees have enough to get by them. The Mets, they're a game or two under 500. I still think they're going to get above the hump, the 500 hump. So I'm going to ride with those for
He's
now.
riding the wave, baby.
Yes.
He's riding the wave. All right, now we're going to move on to something that, of course, we're both very passionate about, and that's the Stanley Cup playoffs. And Matt was sitting in that chair just a few weeks ago, right in that chair, and, we were talking about the local teams. Of course, the New York Islanders and the New York Rangers both made the qualifiers, and this is what he had to say about my New York Rangers. Why don't we go to this clip? Do you think that the Rangers are going to prevail in this series?
I do.
Cool.
I do.
All right.
This
This made me so happy.
Carolina, great defensive team, strong with the D, good goaltending. But the Rangers have enough firepower to overcome that. Again, like you said, Brady Shea is going to be out there gunning for revenge against the team that shipped him out of town. Tony DeAngelo came on so strong on the blue line that Shea became expendable, and they sent him off. But I still think, despite, Carolina's a good team, don't get me wrong, but A, the Rangers own them, B, the Rangers are better, C, the Rangers prevail.
I love that. Matt, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you, Matt? You got
right,
me all
all right.
hyped up.
Hold on. Before we get too deep into this, I want to clear something up.
Clear something up.
Wait a minute. That was not me. That was my evil twin, Wat Maymeyer. Okay, and I said no more. You are not allowed on the show anymore after such a terrible prediction. I am here to set things straight, because if I was here that week, I would have said, the
Carolina in a sweep.
Right. Exactly what I would have said. Carolina, 3 games, easy peasy, but wow, what a shocker that was.
What a shocker
Man.
it was. And I don't even want to talk about it because it hurts me more. But let's talk about the only other local team who did win, and you did get that prediction right.
I did.
The New York Islanders
That's 500.
beating the Florida Panthers in the first, pretty handily. It was a 3-1 series, but it was
Right.
pretty handily.
Right.
Now they're playing the Washington Capitals, and what a storyline. Of course, Barry Trotz,
Yep.
former Washington Capital coach, won the Stanley Cup, and then
Yeah.
you booted him out of there.
Yep.
What do you think of the series, Matt?
Well, game 1 was, I had that one in the win column for the Capitals
I did
because
too.
they led 2-0 near the final minute of the second. The Islanders get a goal. I mean, you talk about momentum. To go into the locker room down 2-1 and not 2-0, that is enormous.
Enormous.
And we saw what the Isles did with that momentum. Three goals in the third period. They blanked the Capitals. Alex Ovechkin held without a point. So, and look, if anybody knows Alex Ovechkin and the firepower of that offense, it's Barry Trotz. Who knows them better? So, whereas the first 39 minutes of regulation didn't go the Isles' way, when they got that goal and they cut the deficit in half, it made all the difference in the world, and they were just unstoppable in that third period. So, a huge Game 1 win for the Isles.
And we spoke about this the last time, but how well coached are the New York Islanders? I mean, really, Barry Trotz, the credit that this guy deserves is insurmountable. It
off the
really
charts.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is off the charts.
And the thing is, he commanded players' respect before winning a cup. But when you can walk into a locker room and say, hey boys, look at this ring, I've done it. I've guided a team to the mountaintop. I've drank
And
a
they
beverage
shut
from the
you,
cup.
Exactly.
You
They
know?
shut you down defensively,
Yeah,
though.
they
I
do.
mean, it reminds me of the Devils back when they had their run in their
Yeah.
couple of cups and 3 cups in 10 years or
Yeah.
whatever that was.
Yeah.
I mean, that almost like that trap style of play.
Very similar.
Very similar, right?
And very similar personnel. The Devils, they have good players, but not that one. They didn't have that Ovechkin, that Crosby, that McDavid, that Pasternak. They didn't have a guy like that, but they were so disciplined and structured, as the Islanders are. I see a lot of similarities between this team, and I think the Devils teams were better, but in terms of style of play and personnel, I see a lot of similarities.
Incredible. Okay, Matt, I'm going to put you back against the wall
Uh-oh.
here. Here we go. New York Islanders, Washington Capitals, and as we're taping this, the Islanders are up 1-0. After it airs, they'll play game 2, but,
Right.
well, it's still a pretty good early in the series to give a prediction here.
Oh, God. This is hard. I see it going 7. I'm going to go
Wow.
there first. I do see it
Going
going
the
7
distance.
because, to hold a powerful team like Washington down for 4 straight games, I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe this is more of a choice with my head with my heart than my head, because I think the Capitals are still the better team. I think the Isles find a way.
Isles and 7.
Isles and 7.
Oh, you're going to drive those New York Islander fans crazy. And by the way, I'm seeing more and more of them come out with,
Yeah,
with their colors on now.
Why not?
It really, really is. Well, Matt Waymeyer, his sports genius, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Look
my
forward to
friend.
having you on again, all right? All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. Have a great week.
Thinking about a family vacation or class reunion? Are you stressed over whether or not you should take a vacation? M-Share Family Fun Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in family and group travel, dedicated to ensure you're provided with the right options to meet your travel needs. I'm Dottie Smith, and I've been servicing clients in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Florida, and California. So I'm here to help you make your travel experience a memorable one. M-Share Family Fun Travel. Cherish today for tomorrow's memories.